now that we've looked at that there can be different sources, there's different depth, there's different areas, we need to know how we can tell between all of this stuff. And so it used to be difficult in the old days. If the church where you were didn't have recording equipment, then you'd have to scribble down what you could remember of the prophetic word, and if it was one of these long 3-minute or 5-minute ones, you were in trouble, because you just cannot remember that much stuff, and you try and write it all down, and then it'd possibly be lost. Or if the church did have recording equipment, quite often they'd be flipping tapes, or they'd be not paying attention, or something would happen, and your word wouldn't get properly recorded so that it was intelligible and completely there and whatever. These days we've really got no excuse. Nearly all of us have got smartphones now, and what you do is you take your smartphone, mine's an Android, but I also like Windows phones when I can, and I've heard the Apple's pretty good as well. But what we do is we take if someone wants to prophesy over us, we take out the phone, get it recording, and you just start it recording. And if someone doesn't want you to record it, you go, sorry, if you're not prepared to be accountable for this word, don't say it. I will not have you speak over my life if I cannot judge it, evaluate it, and use it. Because even if it's a good one, if I can't remember it, it does me no good. It's like the tongues thing. If the trumpet doesn't make a clear note, then how can we prepare ourselves for battle? In the same way with the prophetic, if it's not able to be analysed and broken down and properly weaponized, there's no way we can get good out of it. And so it's just a waste of time. It's a self-indulgent thing. Parking lot prophecies, bad news. But not such a problem these days, because of the smartphone. We can go, hang on a sec, and we start it rolling, and then they can prophesy. And if they don't want to do that, go and tell their pastor or whoever their authority is. If they want to prophesy over you and they don't want to be accountable and they won't have it recorded, 9 times out of 10 you don't want to hear that, because it's a devil. Or it's that human spirit trying to control you and manipulate you. But just be firm. You don't have to be rude. Just say, I'm sorry, my policy, no record, no word. It's as simple as that. And I don't want to hear it if I can't record it. Because I don't want to forget it. I want to be able to analyse it. And I want it to empower my life. And so if people don't like it, tough. It's your life they're playing with. If they won't respect that, they need to rack off. Seriously. So always carry your smartphone with you. If no one's got any recording device and whatever, and the person insists they've got this word for God for you, exchange details, your email address or something like that, and then say, okay, I am interested, but what I'd like you to do, because we don't have recording equipment, is don't speak it over me now. You go away and you write it down and send it to me, and send a copy to my pastor, or I'll send a copy to my pastor, because it needs to be judged, it needs to be evaluated. Because as I said before, there's all those different aspects, and how can you tell if it's just something you heard? And we never actually remember the actual words. We remember the feeling, and we remember the gist. We remember what we interpreted it as when we heard it. But this is like even when we're studying and learning at uni and all that sort of stuff, we don't often actually remember the actual words. Our brains tend to condense it and store it in a relevant format for us. And so we remember our interpretation of what happened. We don't remember what actually happened. And so this is where having a smartphone and recording, like my sound recorder on my smartphone is rubbish. So I use the video recorder on it, but I don't put it in their face, a big selfie or whatever. I just hold it down beside there and it picks up fantastic and it's in full stereo and it's the best thing ever. I'll just record a video. But you've got to know your equipment. So if you're going to be exposing yourself to prophetic people and whatever, or if you're going to be prophesying, you need to be recording your own stuff as well. Don't leave it to someone else, and don't leave it to the person in front of you. It's not so much for their benefit, this is for your benefit. Cover your butt. Cover yourself. Protect yourself. Because and sometimes people will use you as an excuse to justify their bad behaviour. And I really hate that. I really have a very low tolerance for that. But the only thing you can really do about it is to make sure you have your own copy. And so you record your own stuff when you prophesy. It's also a good self-evaluation tool in terms of delivery, content, appropriateness, all that sort of thing. There's a number of times these days I wish that 20 years ago I'd had a personal recorder on me at all times. It is incredible. If you're going to be operating in the gift of prophecy or as a prophet, you must record your own work and keep a record of it. Otherwise, you can be open to all sorts of hearsay, and when people throw enough mud it sticks, and it doesn't matter unless you've got proof, it doesn't matter, it's just your word against theirs, but it all damages the kingdom of God when that silly stuff comes out. So to protect yourself, protect the ministry, and even to protect those people, if it comes up, you need to keep your own recorded copy. So how do we tell? Firstly, we record it. Second, very important thing, is we then transcribe it.